A huge welcome to this IoD99Bites from Waterloo Place in London on a rather chilly but very bright and sunny Tuesday afternoon. As always, I'm joined by a fantastic 99er, and this time it is the turn of Paul. So, Paul, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Paul Scoven. My company is called Freeing Consulting, and I call myself a business pain doctor from an employee perspective. And I do that because it's about diversity in the workplace, but using that diversity in the workplace to gain a better organisation, but also better business profit.
I like that term, a business pain doctor. It sounds like everything that businesses sadly have to go through. It's sometimes quite good to come in for an appointment and do a little once over of the business. So you talk about diversity, it's an area you focus on, it's quite a topical area at the moment. What was your motivation? Why did you decide to go into this? You launched just over a year ago. What was your decision to do that?
My decision was based around the fact that I've been doing a lot of work around about diversity in the workplace.
Right.
I've spent 7 years in a company right at the coalface working on this. I'm not an HR person and I'm not a learning and development person, but I do it from the fact that I understand diversity and what needs to be done.
And I guess from where you were before, you've seen both the positive and negative when you get diversity right, or a good mix within a business, correct? And what happens when you don't? And from that perspective, why is it such an important area? I mean, like I said, it's a topical issue at the moment. We're all talking about diversity. Why is it so important from a sort of HR practitioner's perspective? What's the value add it creates for a business?
So for me, the importance with diversity is valuing the people that you have within the organisation, engaging them, empowering them, treating them like owners of the business, and they will drive the business and the business will benefit. You get better productivity and you get better profit. But there's another side to it. It's about making sure that everybody is treated in an equal perspective and that everybody can work together, collaborate and build proper teams. But ultimately the benefit for me is the organisation gets much better profits.
Fantastic. So it is about not just creating the right culture, and the knock-on effect is reduction in absenteeism, increase in profitability, increase in proactivity and productivity from the workforce as well. So it doesn't just make good sense for the employees, it makes good sense from the business perspective as well. As a business pain doctor, what does that look like? When you come into a business, what do you do, and how difficult are sometimes the conversations you need to have? How do you deal with that within a business?
So the conversations can be quite difficult if somebody doesn't understand the true benefit of diversity in the workplace. So it's trying to encourage people to understand why they need to do the diversity work. Those that do understand it, it's an easier conversation. But what I like to do is I like to do a health check on an organisation, do a deep dive, understand about how the organisation operates, what some of the unspoken rules are, what are the policies and the procedures, and see where they are on that diversity maturity and how much work that they actually need to do.
And I guess a key aspect of it is when you go into an organisation is to ensure you're not having the insights just from the top, but you're hearing people from all aspects and all areas in the business and find out what the workforce really believe about where the business is, to enable you to do that health check effectively.
To do the health check, you have to have facilitated workshops, one-to-ones, all levels of the organisation. Even a small organisation, you need to talk to the employees and find out what's really happening. It's the employees that know the business. They're the ones that know the customers. Without them, the business doesn't succeed.
And they'll also give an unsanitised version of what it is truly like within the business. At the top, it might be, oh, it's all fantastic, we're great. At the employees' level, it might be, maybe we're not quite there yet. So in relation to getting in front of businesses and offering your services and things like this, what have you found is a good way to drum up business interest and to get your business out there? Because you're relatively early stage, it's always something I found tough with my business. What are your quick wins or your lessons learned, the good, the bad and the ugly on that side?
So I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn developing my profile, doing a lot of posts, doing a lot of research, understanding much more about the various aspects of diversity. I've also done a lot of talks and seminars, and I'm continuing to do that on a variety of subjects, from conflict in the workplace, discrimination, attraction and retention of talent, gender pay gap, the list goes on.
And is there any way you can support 99ers in this area? What can you do? If there are any 99ers or other IoD members out there, what would you tell them? How can you support them? And also one or two top tips on how they could sort of look at their own business and check if there's strong diversity and there's strong inclusion within their own employee level.
Yeah, the simple answer is yes, I can help out any organisation.
Good to hear.
It's going in and understanding how they operate. Mm-hmm. So even a small business with only 2 or 3 employees, you can still go in and understand what do they need to do. A lot of organisations as they grow don't realise what they need to do in terms of protecting themselves from discrimination in the workplace, having the right policies and procedures in place. In fact, there's about 1 in 5 small businesses get taken to tribunal because they don't understand it.
Really? So 1 in 5? Really?
1 in 5. So part of the work that I do is about safeguarding and protecting people. And I've got a monthly package that I can do that to support people where they don't have to pay through the nose for getting somebody in to help them. Yeah. It's a bit of a few days over the year just to help them on that journey. And in terms of tips of what they can do, it's looking at what kind of people do they have in their organisation, learn more about those people and who they are and what skills they bring. It doesn't have to be one of the 9 protected characteristics governed by law.
And I guess it's also one of those areas where you've got to have that open and honest conversation with your workforce as well and encourage them to feed back to you on issues they might be facing, and to have that sort of the dialogue with their boss is incredibly important, I would have thought.
It is. And again, it doesn't matter the size of the organisation. When you're small, sometimes you think you know what's best because it's your baby.
Yep.
And in larger organisations, people at the top think they're always right, but they need to understand what the employees think and where they see that the benefits might be.
Excellent, Paul. And I would like to finish with, from a small business perspective, you've talked about that a lot. It is key to get it right even at the start. If your business is on a rapid growth trajectory, it is so important to get the culture, the aspect, the diversity, the inclusive mix within the organisation right from the start. Otherwise, it's a case of those sort of bad practices just grow and grow and grow.
It can. There's the danger, as I said, about discrimination. But if you put the growth lens on it, organisations that value diversity see about 35% growth in profits.
Do they really? 35% growth in profits?
35% when they're getting it right and doing it well.
So it isn't just the right thing to do, it makes good business sense as well.
Absolutely.
Paul, thank you very much indeed for spending time with us today and some of those fantastic top tips.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much indeed for watching. Diversity inclusion is such an important area within the modern business landscape. If you are a founder and director of your own business, please look at that area. It will really add value not only to your workforce, but also to your bottom line as well. Paul, thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching.